My research is on the nature of consciousness. I'm interested in how and why experience arises in the natural world. Specifically, my research is about the connection between what it means to have a first personal point of view on the world and affect or feeling. In particular, the feeling body. So as hard as consciousness is to understand for philosophers and scientists, we've got a lot of it. There's a lot of data. For example, the conscious experience you're having right now. It is my sincere hope that you are all having an attentionally focused visual and auditory experience of me. That would be really helpful if you were having that right now. I am having a visual experience of you. In addition to that, there's some other things going on in my experience right now that I want to tell you about. For example, I'm really nervous and I'm really thirsty. I get dry throat very quickly when I start speaking in public. How do I know this? My body tells me I have a dry throat. I know immediately by having it. I'm nervous. How do I know? I have an elevated pulse. I have a little bit of shaking in my hands. My palms are somewhat sweaty. This is conditioning my train of thought. It is conditioning the rate of my speech at this moment. Now, the novelty of my thesis is to argue that it is not just in these heightened moments that bodily affect is conditioning our experience. It's conditioning our experience all the time, always. And we often forget this, not just in our everyday interactions in the world, but in our philosophical and scientific theorizing. My approach to substantiating this thesis is threefold. I look at a lot of philosophy literature, so that's the armchair reading that you all have heard about. I also do a lot of science. I look at affective neuroscience. I'm interested in the extent to which precortical structures in the brain, that is, structures in the brain that are below the threshold of the cortical cap, are helping to realize bodily experience. And lastly, I'm involved in a translation project, which means I read ancient Buddhist texts from India and I translate them into English, texts that have never been translated into English before. And I do that because I think that the Buddhist philosophical psychologists were right about almost everything, and it's really important to bring their ideas into contact with contemporary philosophy and science. The question that any philosopher then needs to answer is, so what? Who cares? Really important question to answer. I think I have an answer. The answer is this. Most of us carry on thinking that our self is somewhere back here, about a half an inch behind the eyes. And most of our attention and our conscious experience is happening at the level of vision and at the level of cognition. But my contention is that you and me, all of us, live in what I would like to call an ocean of feelings. And those feelings in the body are constantly conditioning, organizing, orienting, and biasing your experience in all kinds of ways. And it's really important for us to get in touch with this, not just in our everyday experience, but from a rigorous scientific point of view, so we can get a deeper understanding of our own experience and our own well-being. Thank you.